Hey, it's Big T. Today I am going to do something a little bit different. Today I'm going to talk about blending some custom dubbing. It's something that I enjoy. It's just another way that you can put your own touch on your flies. I think that's part of the enjoyment of fishing. And tying your own flies is the customization and things that you can do on your own. The pride you can take when you do catch a fish with something that you created. This is a product that I like. It's a variety pack of dyed rabbit hide that Hareline carries. It's great because you don't have to spend a bunch of money and you get a bunch of colors. It's a great base for your dubbings. What I like about rabbit fur is that it does go on the thread very well. A couple things I don't like about it. It goes on so well, it tends not to give a very buggy effect to the fly. So I want something that's got a little more spikiness to it, and I'm going to add some squirrel to that. Squirrel, this is a dyed combo pack of squirrel tail. Today we're going to do something in an olive variation, but on the squirrel that I add, you can add just plain regular gray squirrel. I'm going to add a little bit of green and a little bit of yellow to this particular batch. And again, it's stuff that you can play with. I do suggest that you write down what you do in case you come up with something you really like as far as proportions, and they can just be vague proportions. I don't do that frequently, and then I come up with something I really like, and boom, I'm in trouble. Some other stuff I like to add. I like to add some ice dubbing, little synthetics, UV dubbing. I like some UV effect in there as well. Sometimes I will add some scud dubbing. The scud dubbing has a tendency to leave fibers protruding, which is more buggy. On occasion, I will use Senyo's Shaggy Dub and add that. That's great for legs and a real leggy look to your flies. This is just a piece of the olive rabbit hide, and what I'm going to do is basically just cut down to the skin itself. And this is going to be the bulk of what I'm adding in. I'm probably going to, I'd say, have at least 75% of this be the rabbit fur. If you're wondering what I'm putting this in, this is the top to a coffee grinder. This is a great apparatus if you've got one laying around, or find one at a Goodwill store, flea market, cheap. I don't think they cost much more than $10 new. But that's a great apparatus to blend your dubbing in. You can use, if you're doing big batches, I highly recommend you get your wife's food processor out. She'll really appreciate that when you show her what you've created in there. The fact that you're using animal furs and things of that nature, squirrels, rabbits, they really rarely have any issues with that when they realize what a wonderful dubbing blend you've put together. They're usually very proud of you, and so keep that in mind. Go ahead and pull that one out. So I've placed some of the olive rabbit fur in here, and then to that I'll add some of the squirrel tail. I'm going to cut this in, we'll call them 1/8 to 1/4 inch pieces, because I want it to be a little bit spiky, but I don't want it just to have a bunch of fibers protruding so long that it doesn't look natural. We'll call that a teaspoon. And the same with the yellow. Again, you'll get kind of a feel, and if you're somebody who's a little bit more retentive in nature, I suggest you kind of do a little more due diligence in your measurements. All right, on this is a light olive UV dubbing. I'm also going to cut that into about 1/4 inch pieces and add that. Large pinch. And then we'll add another large pinch of olive ice dubbing. And lastly, I am going to add some scud dubbing as well. I'm not going to cut that as fine because I do want some of those fibers sticking out. I don't know that I want to go through the effort of blending this because of the noise factor, but as a general rule, well, I can't resist. I guess I have to plug it in first. Maybe it won't make that much noise. We'll see what it sounds like on video. I don't think that's too bad. Just a quick pulse of that. I don't know how well that's going to show up, but man, that's some good looking stuff right there. That's stuff I would fish with all day long and stuff that you can pay a lot of money for. Beautiful olive dubbing. That'll go in a bag, go on the shelf for somebody. So if you're into it, I highly suggest you take the time to buy the materials, do it yourself. The world is the limit. I don't guess that's really much of a saying. There is no limit to the amount of color combinations you can put together. I hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe to my channel, visit my store for these products and more.